Hello, everyone. This is Dan. I was going to wait until tomorrow to make a new social media video, Thanksgiving Day, and talk about some fun things too. But an important story did pop up in the last couple of days that I do think is important to mention and to get your feedback on. Uh, Late Tuesday, November 22nd, in New York Magazine, apparently security experts urged the Hillary Clinton campaign to do a recount of votes there in the state of New York based on what they call suspicious results. And since that time, like today, Wednesday the 23rd, there's been more discussion about recounting election votes. The Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein's presidential campaign announced today, Wednesday the 23rd, that they are planning to file for recounts in three key states: Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Now, Michigan most likely, even in a recount, will still go for Donald Trump, but apparently Wisconsin and Pennsylvania are still in question, and not all the popular votes may have been counted yet. So, this is an interesting story. There's a couple of points I want to make about that. Number one, according to the Stein campaign, it's going to cost $2 million to do a recount of three states. Okay, that's pretty crazy. $2 million for a recount. Well, the other part is, considering all this discussion about, alleged fraud or whatever. Why isn't there discussion about Bernie Sanders in all of this? During the primary season, from the spring of 2015 to the summer of 2016, there were all kinds of irregularities that were reported around the country. Remember, there were primaries and caucuses, both, and even the caucus in Iowa apparently was decided by a coin toss. Now, how weird and crazy is that? Well, the general elections, in comparison, are much simpler because general elections, it's across the board open. So all you have to do basically is be registered and you can vote. Now, when we say semi-open or closed elections, that's what most of the primaries and caucuses were. There were conditions attached, not that many open elections like the general election is. For instance, in California, you would call that a semi-open or semi-closed, depending on, water full, water half full, half empty, whichever way you look at it. Either way, it's semi-open or closed, which means there are conditions. For instance, if you wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, or Ted Cruz, you must be in the primaries registered either Republican or Democrat. So if you're registered independent, you can't really vote for any of those four candidates from the two major parties. Very strange. I don't know why that exists. And there are some states where you have to be registered Democrat to vote Democrat, or Republican to vote Republican, and you can't really vote independent at all. So I should say no party preference was also a requirement here in California, because if you registered independent, then you're voting for the American Independent candidate, which in California was Donald Trump, actually, if you looked at your ballot. Which that's another weird thing that isn't consistent across the board, I guess, even in the state of California, but that's how it was where I voted, in the area where I voted. Knowing all the regularities around the country that we saw that got reported, from everything from electronic voting machine issues to polling stations being changed at the last minute so it was different on your sample ballot as to where to go vote on the day that you actually went to vote, and then polls that were opened late or closed early, where there were thousands of people, for instance, like in Arizona, that just apparently didn't even get to vote. There's the paper ballots. There were issues with those. Personally, I haven't even confirmed if my vote in California was counted. I did confirm that it was received to be counted, but I never did confirm whether or not it was even counted. So, back to this. In this discussion of recount, why not talk about the primaries and Bernie Sanders? So, and then it's $2 million to file for a recount in 3 states. Oh my, how crazy! How crazy is that? Anyway, that's food for thought. And until tomorrow, enjoy the very beginning of your holiday weekend, and let me know what you think. I love you.